everyone, my name is Jonathan Gallinaro and I'm one of the co-presidents for the Rowan 3D Printing Club, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a desktop rocket. This is one of the models that we designed from the AIAA and 3DPC collaboration event. So before we get started, if you haven't already signed up for an Onshape account, this is a real good opportunity to get started with that. So you're going to want to go to onshape.com and make sure to sign up with your student email, because you can actually switch it to an educational account in order to get a little bit more features rather than just the standard subscription. So yeah, for the first step, we're going to want to go to Create. We're going to want to go to Document, and we're just going to leave it as actually we're just going to name it basically the naming convention, so that way when it comes time to export the model, it'll be very easy. So we're going to do 3DPC, we're going to do our last name, this is my last name, and then we're going to do, since this is a workshop, we're going to do workshop, print, and then that's it. And we're going to click OK. Okay, so for the first step, oh, actually, before we start the first step, this is just basically the Onshape UI. So before getting started, we have Sketch up here. We have Extrude. We'll be using that a lot. There's also other features that we'll be using, like the plane feature, and also the fillet feature, and some loft also. So we're going to be kind of getting a little bit of a combination of everything for this model. And yeah, so let's start with the first step. We're going to want to go to Sketch. And now we're going to basically hover our mouse over basically where we want to start on the three-dimensional plane. So basically we're going to want to start on the top plane, because then we're going to build the top portion of the rocket and the bottom portion. So we're going to go to the top, we're going to click that. So you'll see that a sketch has appeared. Make sure not to click the green check just yet, because we have to actually put down what we're drawing first. So now we're going to want to go to the center point circle. On your screen, it might be selected as something different, but we're going to do center point circle. And then we're going to go over to this cube over here in the top right hand and just click on that. And then it will bring us to a better orientation of the actual sketch plane. So now we're going to want to take our mouse and hover over the center. We're going to left click on that and drag it out to, you can also drag it out to any dimension, because we're going to dimension it right after. So what I like to do is I always drag it out a little bit bigger, so I can just see at least the outline of the circle. So now we're going to want to go to dimension, and then click on the outer of the circle and drag it out. So as you can see, it's in inches, and I even made my own mistake. We actually want to convert this to millimeters. It makes it easier on the technicians when it comes time to printing, because we're going to be exporting, importing your STL file into Cura to slice it. So I'm just going to leave this as a random dimension. We're actually going to go up to the 3 bars up there, the document menu, and we're going to go to workspace units, and then we should be able to change that to millimeter. And then once you click OK, the rest of the units throughout the whole document will automatically convert to millimeters. So now let's go back to our sketch. We're going to want to edit that sketch, and as you can see, it has converted to millimeters. So now I have custom numbers, so I have it actually next to me, so I'm kind of reading it off there because I can't remember all of it. So we're going to be using decimal numbers with a little bit of I guess more numbers towards the end. So yeah, not everything's going to be one number. So it's going to be 13.97. So I'll just give it a second and then click enter. And you also don't have to type in millimeters. Since you already set the document setting to millimeters, you could automatically just type in the number and it will constrain it for you. So what I like to do is I like to zoom in and just move our measurement out just a little bit, so that way we can get a clearer picture. So now for the next step, we're going to want to create an extrude. So now that we're done with our sketch, we can click OK, and then we can change the orientation by going up to here, just so we can see the actual sketch in the plane. So you can click isometric, or you could just click the top, so the top corner here, and it will bring you to the same view. So we're just going to zoom in, and then we're going to want to go to extrude up top here. We're going to click that, and then we're going to want to actually click the disk that we just we just created. So the shaded part of here, it will automatically highlight in orange. And once we click that, then it will give us an automatic extruded amount. So the number for this is going to be 31.75. And also, we're going to want to create this as a symmetric. So this is going to be the midpoint of the rocket. So we're going to kind of work our way up and then work our way back down. So now we have symmetric, will automatically equal out towards the center of that. So we're going to click OK. And then we have a cylinder now. So now for the next part, this is pretty interesting part. So now we can reorient the screen, so we can zoom out just a little bit, zoom back in. So now we're going to want to come over here to where it says plane. It looks almost like the Windows icon, so we could actually just click that. And what we're going to do is actually create almost like if you see on the screen it has this top with the whole plane there. We're kind of create another plane that's parallel to the top of this surface right here. So we're going to select the top here, the orange part. And as you can see, there's a little plane right there, almost as if you were creating a sketch. So we can actually start doing a sketch on top of that plane. So the distance for that is going to be 19.05. And that should bring it to the exact point that we want it at. So once we're done with that, we're going to click the check. Then we'll go on to the next step. Okay. So now we're actually going to create a sketch on top of that plane. So as you can see, just by hovering my mouse over it slightly, it does highlight. So we can create a sketch and select that plane. And just another thing that is pretty useful, if you're having trouble actually selecting that, because I know how sometimes there's other things in the way, like this front plane and everything, we could actually, instead of selecting plane, we can go over here to the menu on the side and actually just click plane 1. And it'll automatically select it for the sketch. So it makes it a little bit easier if you're having trouble lining up the mouse and stuff. I always feel like Onshape has that problem when it's just zooming in and stuff like that. Okay, so now we're going to want to create a circle with the midpoint in there. And we're just going to zoom into the plane. And you'll see right there, if I just hover my mouse over it, it will actually give me the center of the plane. So we're going to want to hover over, we're going to left click, drag out, and then we'll dimension that. So now we have the dimension. That's going to be 10.16. Okay. And now that we're done with that, we can click next, and then we can go on to the next part. Okay. So now here's the cool part. So now we can actually attach the two and kind of like create almost like a volcano shape going up. So if we hover over to loft over here, if we click on loft, so now it will give us options to remove or add. So we just want to keep it as new. Basically, we're going to select the profiles that we want to do. So we're going to want to select the top of this little sketch that we made. We're also going to want to click also the face of this extrude right here. And it will automatically loft it for us into the shape that we want. So now we're going to want to click next, and now those two parts are almost like extruded in a sense. Okay. So now we're going to actually want to zoom out just a little bit. And we actually want to go back to the plane button, and we're going to do another plane on top of that sketch we just made with the plane. So we're going to want to select that, and then that number is going to be 25.4. So it's slightly up just a little bit, and then we're going to want to click OK for the plane. And then we're going to want to do another sketch on top of that plane. So instead of selecting it on here, because it's a little difficult, because I have front plane, I have right plane, all this stuff going in the way, I'm just going to select the plane over here just to make it easy. Okay, so now when I zoom in, I'm going to want to select a circle again, and I want to hover over the center, which will be highlighted in a little orange square. I want to click that and drag it out. So this part's going to get a little wonky because the measurement's actually really, really small. So we're going to want to dimension that. and this time it's going to be 0.794. Okay, so it's going to be a real tiny circle right there. So I'm just going to move that measurement out. Okay, so if you zoom out, it almost looks like it's just a point in a sense. Okay, so now we're going to want to do another loft, and we're going to want to select the two surfaces. So you're definitely going to want to zoom in for this. Now, actually, we're not going to select the shaded portion of this. We're actually going to select just the dot in the center. So you could have also done, instead of doing a circle, you could have just done a regular point and just put a point with the construction line. But I guess when I was making this, I just made a circle just to make it easy. But yeah, so we just click that, and it'll automatically generate a point up to the top right there. Okay, so now we're at the halfway point. So we already have the top of the rocket. So now we're going to continue with the bottom portion, and then we're actually going to make the fins of the rocket and then rotate them around. And yeah, this rocket's actually going to resemble a V2 rocket. Yeah, that's one rocket that I really like. So okay, so now we're actually going to click the bottom over here just to orientate it, so that way we can see from a bottom view. And now we're going to do another plane. So we're going to want to select the plane tool, click on here, and this time it's going to be 28.734. Okay, so that's going to orientate it right to the right spot we want. And now we're actually going to make another circle. Okay, so we're going to do another sketch, and I'm just going to select the plane here just to make it easy. And then we're going to want to do the circle. So we're going to find that center point right there, and it should highlight to an orange. And then we're going to want to click and drag out. And then we're going to want to go to the dimension tool. And then this dimension is going to be 7.02. I want to click OK. And then we're going to want to go reorientate it so we can see it, make it easy. Okay. And now we're going to want to do a loft. So click on the volcano icon up there, and then click on the two circular discs, and then it should automatically do it. So once we have that, it'll start looking like a ballpoint pen, and that means we're almost there. So pretty much that's the whole body of the rocket, minus the fins. So now we're actually going to select the front plane so we can get a better orientation of the whole rocket itself. We're going to want to go to Sketch. And yeah, before you continue, if you previously made a sketch, just delete that whole one where I was showing you how to trace it out. That was all messed up. So we're just going to start a fresh new sketch. And we're actually going to do it on the front plane here. And then we're going to want to do the same thing, pretty much. We're going to want to trace here to this point to the shaded. We're going to want to go down a certain angle here and line everything up and just get a base outline of everything. But the mistake that I made last time was that I actually clicked on the origin, and that is something you don't want to do. So we're going to not click on the origin and go all the way down. Okay. So now that I've finished the actual sketch here, now we can properly dimension everything. So now the dimension for this side is going to be 38.479. And you can see that's going to slightly move everything down just a little bit. So now we can work the top. So that's 7.625. And then we have this part right here. That's going to be 25.4. And one thing I like to do is I like to just move around the dimensions just as good practice, just to make everything look a little neater. So it's easier to see. Okay, so now this part over here, that's going to be 20.32. And then this part right here is going to be 6.86. And this right here is going to be 7.62. Okay, and then we're going to dimension this portion. It's going to be 3.776. So as you can see, it moves the whole model and kind of snaps it for you. And now the only thing that we have to do is just make sure that these two lines are flush with the bottom port. So to do that, we're actually going to select the point right here and the line right there. And it'll give us the difference between there. Just select 0. And then we'll cut it up for us. So I'm going to leave this up for just a second so you guys can either just pause right here so you can see all the measurements. I'll just move this out so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so I'll just leave for a second so you can pause it if you want to just do it on your own. Okay, and then so yeah, then we're done. We're going to want to complete the sketch. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the measurement up there. Actually, if you want to pause it now. Okay, and then once you do that, you're going to want to complete the sketch over here. And then we have our rocket fin. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Extrude. And we're going to want to click on our shaded area here. And if we go to the side, we're going to see that's bulking out to the right. We don't want that. We're going to want to do symmetric. So we want it coming out both sides. So what we're going to do is 1.27 millimeters. And that should give us a rocket fin right there, which it should be good. So we're going to want to click this, click OK, and that will give us one fin to work with. Okay, and now in the next step, we're going to want to create another sketch plane. We're going to go to front, and now we're just going to create a construction line. So this line is not going to be used in the model at all. It's just for reference, pretty much. So you can select the line tool over here, and then select the construction. You also can do this with other tools too, like the square, the circle, any of these tools and functions up here. You could definitely use the construction in conjunction with it. So it's a very useful tool when it comes to doing certain models and stuff. So we're going to click the origin over here, go all the way down, and just go down to roughly around here. It doesn't have to be accurate. We're not going to be dimensioning. So we're going to want to right click and then escape the line. So we're using this actually to rotate the fins around there, so that way we don't have to physically make the 4 fins. We're just going to actually use one of the features to rotate it for us. So once you're done with that sketch, you're going to want to go into the next part, in which we're going to want to go to this little cube right here. So we have linear pattern. We actually want circular pattern. So we're going to want to, it says entities to pattern. So that's going to be this fin right here. So we could actually select Extrude 2, which is going to be that extrude. If it will let me select, hopefully. Okay, and then axis of pattern, that construction line that we created. Okay, so I just want to go back 1 second just so I can show you. So it didn't let me select the actual fin. It'll actually only come up as part 1 at the bottom. So you can select part 1 or just click on the model itself. And then axis of the pattern. And then we're just going to click that right there. Now, we're going to have 4 fins. When we click OK, we'll actually have 4 fins going down. So we're actually almost done with the rocket. We just have to do some minor detailing to it. And the one thing that I would recommend is to go to chamfer up top here and zoom in towards the top over here. So we don't want any rugged edges or anything. We want to make it look a little bit nicer. So we're going to want to zoom in and just click right here on this edge. So right now it's very, very low, which is not good. So we're going to want to select equal distance to 2 distances. And then for the top one, we're going to want to do 0.762. And then for the bottom one, we're going to do 5.08. So that should give us a good rounded edge. So we're going to want to select the rest of the ones over here, all around the rocket, so that way they all are smooth when it comes time to print. So click OK. And then, so if you do run into an issue where you have multiple parts over here, it is possible that could happen. So if you have anything that says part 1 through 4 or 1 through anything, you're going to want to actually go all the way zoom out. You're going to want to left click and highlight the whole model. So everything will be in orange here. And you're actually going to want to go to where we had the plane and go all the way down to composite part. So composite part pretty much just stitches everything together and makes it one solid block. So when we export it, we actually aren't missing a few pieces along the way. So since I don't have that, I'm just going to leave it at just what I got, since I already have part 1 there. But when it comes time to exporting, if you have composite part, it'll say composite part down here, and that's the one you want to select to export. So now we were pretty much done with the rocket. So the one thing that you can do, just to make it look a little nicer for presentation, is actually get rid of all the planes, just that way you can see the model. Just get rid of the last plane there. That's plane 2. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to pull up the Google Sheet, and I'll show you how to submit that. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so I have the Google form up. So I'm going to show you how to submit it to there. I'm going to be leaving the link in the description of the video, so that way you're able to access the form. So yeah, let's get started. I'll show you the form first, so that way you can get a look at it. So yeah, we pretty much just have your email address. So that way we can email you when the print is done, so you can pick it up. So for mine, I'm just going to put in my own email address. Okay. So then the next thing that you'll be presented with is just the terms and conditions for the club. So, you know, this is pretty much primarily for personal printing stuff, but you know, you just sign and say that you agree to all the terms above. But in this case, since it's a workshop, it's pretty much, it's fine. So just sign your name, and then you know, you could just sign whether or not you're on campus and you can pick it up, or you can't pick it up. If you can't pick it up, then we'll have it shipped to your house if you're remote. So in my instance, I can pick it up, but I'm going to show you if you can't pick it up. So when you click I can't pick it up, we're just going to ask for your mailing information. So I'm just going to put 123 Rowan, and then we're going to want to click next. So now this is the cool part. We actually get to pick what color we want this rocket. So for this event in particular, we have 4 different types. We have sun lucid blue, we have light gold, we have black, and we have white. So yeah, I'm gonna try light gold. Why not? Okay. So now we're gonna actually go to the naming convention portion of this, and then we're gonna upload it. So we're gonna want to go back to our Onshape, and if you, just as a reminder, if you have a composite part, you're gonna want to do this with composite, not singular parts. So, but in my case, I have parts, or part 1. So we're gonna want to right-click on that. We're gonna want to do export, and we're gonna want to make sure that our units are in millimeters. We're gonna want to make sure our STL format is binary, our format's STL, and the resolution is fine. And then we're gonna want to change the name again. So maybe a little tedious, but so then we're gonna put our last name. We're gonna put workshop print, and then that's it. So then once we hit OK, it's going to export that for us. So that will go into your downloads folder. So in my case, it's right here. So I'm going to show you. So now when we click Add File, we could either drag it from here, but I'll show you once you select it from your device, it will be right there. So the first thing in there, we're going to want to click that. Click Open, and then click Upload. So then we're going to want to click Next, and then you just click Submit to finalize your thing, or your model. And then once it's finalized, we'll start printing them out, and then when it's done, we'll send you a notification through email, and then you're good to go. So yeah, I just want to say, if you attended the event, thank you for attending it. I had a lot of fun teaching this, and I hope you like your desktop rocket. But yeah, we'll see you guys next semester, and you know, if I don't talk to you guys, have a good summer, and definitely needed a good break. So, all right, thanks guys.